Okay.
And we are live right now, so give me a moment. I'm gonna share this and then we're gonna get right into it. How was your morning? How that baby?
Good. Everything smooth for real.
She up?
You
She
been kind
sleep?
of chilling. She up. She
Oh,
wiggling around.
okay.
Yeah. You
Hello,
ain't
hello.
there.
I'm not sure who's on. If you are on and you've watched me before, you kind of know how this goes. Share the live, tag some people in. We're gonna be talking about tackling the root problems in relationships, and I have the breakdown artist here with me. We got
Yeah.
some more things we about to collab on. If you've seen me share the panel called Conquering Deep Conversations, that's my brand, Conquering Relationships, and that's his brand, Ocean Deep. We doing a collab. So
That's
y'all
gonna be
gonna get a
good.
little bit of what we got going on this. But ask your questions. I always say, I do my thing on my own. I post my regular videos, my regular content. Y'all can ask me stuff anytime y'all want. But this is for our guests. Anything he says, anything we talk about, make sure y'all get y'all questions in so he can tackle those for y'all. So
For
as we
sure.
get started, can you go ahead and just give us an introduction?
What's up? It's your boy. Is that how people do their introductions?
Hey, you
Nah,
got it.
man. Y'all know who I am. Most of y'all know who I am. Cozy, C Wise, breakdown artist, self-proclaimed, which means everything that I think I deeply evaluate it into pieces so I can get to the root of things to have a greater understanding. Family man, grinder, hustler, entrepreneur, um, and just myself, unapologetically. That's who I am.
Unapologetically. That's what's up. I like that. I like people who are authentically themselves. I don't like chameleons. I say that. I've said it before. I don't like chameleons because if you one way with me and another way with another, you will switch up on whoever, however, whenever it benefits you. And I don't rock with people like that. His info for those who don't already follow him, his page is in my caption of this video. So if you guys want to link with him ever, his detailing brand, his funny, he do funny content, like anything. Just go link with him
Some everything, man.
off that link that's in my caption. Go ahead into the next one. So what made you choose this topic?
I basically chose this because I don't like how everybody think they super smart, but only like social media led. And not that people ain't, it's a lot of intelligent people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like we let captions create character at this point. Like people be reading stuff and they just be like, it could say like something today. It said, black men don't pull other black men up. But then when I broke it down, I gave a better perception on it. But it's like I don't like stuff like that because people start living by it. So
Yeah,
I like to teach people how to think because when I was young, this teacher handed me a book that said learning how to learn. And I was like, what kind of stuff is this? Hey, what you mean? Learning how to learn. And ever since then, I kind of just been looking at stuff like, oh, we think we know how to think, but we don't for real. Because if you only surface led, then you're gonna miss a lot of the key things that you need to grow. So I try to push that type of style out, and that's what I picked that for.
yeah, and I absolutely love it because I feel like the more you mature, the more you grow. That's actually the mindset we need to have. I don't know if I
Mm,
said this to you before, but I know I've been in a conversation and I've said before, like it's not about disagreeing. That I mean, we all think
yeah,
differently, and we are supposed to. The issue is not disagreeing. The issue is when you come being disrespectful. The issue is when you do feel like you're smarter and you come and you like trying to blatantly disrespect somebody else's thought process. Let's just have the
mm-hmm,
conversation. What you learn may be something I need to learn and I don't know. Like, don't come being disrespectful and thinking you know better. And this is exactly why I love that you chose that topic, tackling root problems in relationships, because that's not only platonic relationships, that I mean intimate
yeah,
relationships, that's platonic
any
too. Yeah,
yeah,
like we gotta tackle the root problem. And a lot of times the root problem ain't that we learn differently. The root problem is that we don't respect each other's difference.
yeah. People have a hard time with
Um,
that.
you say what?
People have a hard time with that.
Oh, real hard time.
Hmm.
So, without going into details just yet, name a few root problems that you see in relationships.
Um, I think people don't base their evaluation of their relationship off of what it really is, but we can do that in other things. So, like keeping it short, in school you got A, B, C, D, F. So a lot of us is in B plus, but we think A plus, and we'll be like, oh, this whole relationship is bad. But if you get a B plus on your test, you still pass. So
Facts.
something like that. Poor evaluation, poor communication, and that's kind of with everything. And I say people don't have love like without barriers, and that creates a lot of hidden things because it's like everybody wants something, but they're not even comfortable with it for real. Like you want to say you want a certain thing, but you don't really want to say it because you think it might go wrong. So you never say it. Then you sink in, but then the other person might want it. But then you realize that, and then it's like, oh, if I want this and you want this, we could have been said something. So a lot of people just not talking and not loving each other, not being kind. Niceness. That's my last thing. Niceness. I think people are not nice to each other. Like bottom line, they just be mad at each other all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm gonna go back to kind of what you said. It's them hard conversations. Like I
Yeah.
see how you said earlier. It's like people they say stuff because it sounds good. You know that social
Mhm.
media talk, but you don't really believe it. And I see a lot of people talking about hard conversations. But these same people I see mention hard conversations, the moment it's time to get in one, they spaz. And
Yeah.
it's like, but wait, I thought you said that we supposed to have these hard conversations. What's up? Like, why
Yeah.
we not having them? Why you instantly treat me as the enemy? Why you instantly attacking me? I thought we supposed to have these hard conversations.
Right.
Um, and I like your analogy where you talked about the B plus and the A plus in a relationship. I'm gonna even go as far as to even say, yeah, A plus, B plus, C plus, you passing, right? You can pass.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go as far as to even say the D's and the F's. F's, oh Lord,
F
you
is
know, D's,
huh?
F's. Y'all scratch that out. I ain't gonna be able to edit that, but act like it never happened. But the D's and the F's, like even with that, the thing is with that, you still have time to get it up.
Yeah.
You still have time to get it
But
to
it
a
take
C or a
work,
B or
just
an
like
A.
the analogy. It take work. You gotta do
Yeah,
the work, turn in the work. But hey,
yeah. You still got time to get it up. But what I see that we do when we in a relationship and we get a D and a F, what we do, we go put that on social media. We
mm-hmm,
trying to bring people in it so they can grade our relationship, so they can grade
mm-hmm,
us as an individual. Keep it off social media. If your
yeah,
relationship in a D and a F, go on and do the work that's needed to get that mug up to that C, then to that B to that A. That
right,
have them hard conversations and then do the work of it.
yeah.
So I'm a so on to the next one. Do you think, and you already pretty much answered it, but I want to go on and tackle it a little bit. Yeah, Jeremy, that's a cold analogy. He did his thing with that one. You're gonna have to use that in some posts. But
Well, I can see
do
the
you
comments. That's what's up.
yeah. Do you think many people are not tackling the root problems in their relationships?
Yeah, because I feel like it's way easier and it's crazy because people be like relationships so hard. And why everybody saying the same problems then? I
Same
ain't
problem.
I ain't never seen something so hard where somebody already gave the blueprint. The problem is people got the same problems within themselves. They don't want to do it.
Mhm.
People just need to admit the truth. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like if we not if we not going deep first, we want to go with the favorite color shit. Like what's your favorite restaurant and like that's gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. Like we gonna be eating at 100 different places. On your birthday, it's gonna matter, and you only get one a year. But we gonna be in a relationship all year. So we skipping through like, what's your family values? Morally, if we have a child together, how do you want to raise the child? What type of like religious views do you have? You know what I'm saying? So it's like the roots would make it so much easier, but since it takes the most work, people shy away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen people say before, and it's so misleading, so misleading. And I've seen a lot. It's a lot of women get on there and be like, right. I've seen people say before, relationships aren't work. They shouldn't be work. And I'm like, what? What relationship you seen or been in that shows you it shouldn't be work? Stop
Yeah.
listening to those type of people because yes, it is. Now it's hard work because people don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And people don't, like you said, tackle them roots. Like you worry about the favorite color, you worry about posting this picture and this video for on a vacation so other people can perceive y'all as being better than y'all are. You ain't
Yeah.
focused on the foundation, you focus on the exterior, and
It
that's
tells its
why it's
own
hard.
it tells its own story though. People on the flip side, the people who doing the work, them the people who had the best relationship. So it's like people know. You see
Yeah,
it just like we see bad relationships, but them knowing just shows that they don't want to do it.
yeah.
But it's scary to a lot of people. So
Mhm.
I
And
mean,
the thing is, it's scary, but it be so crazy because even if you're scared, this the main thing that you say you want. Most of my
yeah.
and I got rid of a lot of people on my timeline, but most posts I see is all about relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, dang,
Go.
you talk more about a relationship or a person that hurt you than you talk about your business or your
Yeah, every
brand or even
platform.
your kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like the thing that everybody talk about. Why won't you put in the most effort to tackle that foundation of that, to tackle that root of that, to do the work so
People
that it
want
can
it
be
to be
better?
easy. They want it to be easy. They want it to be everything work. Like they want to merge families easy. They want to be sexual pleasing each other easy. They want people to come in and know everything that they love out the gate, and they ain't got to show them
Mhm.
nothing and teach nothing. That's not even realistic.
Yeah,
You don't have to do none of that in no parts of your life. If you
yeah,
go to work, these co-workers do not know if you cool with them cussing around you or not. So if they cuss around you, you don't get offended. Like it's like in school, your friends, you meet your friends based on the bonds you build. Outside of in regular life, it's the same way. It's no such thing as coming in easy with other human beings, being
hmm,
that we so different.
yeah,
So I just look at it like that. I come in with a complete blank sheet, like, oh, tell me about you.
hmm,
Show me about you.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
then
that's what it is. Like any encounter, whether that's a friendship or relationship, you got to go in with a blank slate. But that be
yeah.
the problem. A lot of us aren't going in with blank slates. We going in with all
Mhm,
the baggage from the
mhm.
last person in the last relationship, and then we want this other person to fix that so that we can have a better slate. But you're not even giving that person a fair chance in that
Right.
relationship or whatever you're building. Hey, Tanetta. So when you brought up sex, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into my next question because that actually is a part of one of the root problems that I, ran across when I was doing my research.
Mhm.
And with saying that, guys, the guys for whoever went on here in the beginning, the thing is you have to do your own research. It's good to have conversations, it's good to, listen to other people, but do your own research. Learn yourself. Learn what you say the teacher said about the learning when she gave you that book.
Learning how to learn.
Learn how to learn. Yeah. And I always say what works for
Mhm.
you ain't gonna work for another and vice versa. And that's the thing we got to get out of our head. You can't tackle them roots until you start understanding that I hear you, but I gotta see what works for me. But the thing is, we be like I talked
Mhm.
about a little earlier, chameleons. Like, stop doing what everybody say do and literally listen. Learn to listen, be in
Yep.
check with your spirit and in tune with yourself so you will know, oh, okay, I hear you, but no, I ain't gonna try that one because that one don't work for me. You got to get more in tune with
Mhm.
yourself. So before I go to my next question, I'm gonna go on and this one is long, but I'm gonna read it off because I don't know if it's gonna fully get on the screen. But Germany said people don't want to face themselves when it's time to handle a challenge. Love brings out the trauma you push down and shows you the dark parts of your personality you ignored. People can only wear a mask for so long before their true self is revealed. Big facts. Big facts.
Real
Did you want to
life.
add anything to that?
Real life. The part about push down the dark parts of your personality, that's the part that I probably feel like people ain't ready for in a relationship. But it's crazy because the more serious you get, the more you got to get that person them real parts of you. And it started being like, dang, I kind of was able to slip through the cracks with this because I ain't take that person serious, or that person, I only went around them this many times. So I can go back when if I got an anger problem or something, I can walk out and the relationship become a different stuff. You can't walk out. You
Mhm.
can, but you're gonna walk back
Most
in
people walk
because you
out and
live
walk
there.
back in.
Or you can't be talking crazy. Yeah. So you can't be talking crazy and you can't be treating kids a certain way that the other person don't like. It's like them dark
Mhm.
parts they gonna come up, but when you do it, it just gets better. When you talk about
Mhm.
them, it gets better.
Yeah. And guys, I see, so I've done diagnostics with my internet and all that. I've been trying to get it together. I see it getting a little blurry. As long as we don't kick out, y'all, just work with me, bear with me. We having this internet connection, so I see it steadily going in and out, being blurry. But if you can handle it, if you can like look past it a little bit to get back clear, just work with us, walk with us.
It's still working though, so that's good. It keep clearing up
Yeah, but I
actually. I
see
don't
it's
know. It's
like
like going
blurry. I'm like, oh my
clearing
God.
up.
But because I know for me, if I see something steadily getting blurry, it's like hard for me to keep watching it. So I'm like,
For me, it's
yeah,
the audio. Your audio ain't
yeah.
breaking, so we
Okay,
good.
so getting into this. So when I done my research, my reading and everything, so we gonna tackle it's three of them on here. We gonna tackle them individually. But it was three root problems. There's more, but three root problems that I saw and that I wanted to tackle with my guest on today was finances, lack of sex and intimacy, and then communication. So,
Mhm.
cause if you can go ahead and just let's start tackling that first one. So, what is the root problem that you see as it relates to the finances with couples?
The root problem is not respecting where you at. So we come in, we got these careers or these jobs, right? And then we got these ideas of things that are not in our bracket or in our course of life as of now. But when we internalize it, we take it in as if we'll never get it or we can never have it. And that energy, it shows in people. And when people show that energy, you start to see like, oh, you don't appreciate this right now. Or you don't understand that, you start devaluing things. Like, you don't understand that I'll be going to work 12 hours at this job though. So I'm maximizing my potential here at this point in life. So, and then the next thing is probably is like we don't balance it out communication wise. Like, we like to spend what we spend and do what we do, and then we panic when everything come down and everything show up and pop up and be a bill. But we don't like to balance finances in order to have a little bit of boost in life that we want. So we got expectations that are not even a reflection of our behavior, which makes no sense because how you gonna get something when you spending? If we look at our budgets, like, you probably got a snack budget of $150 a month, but what you want costs $150 one time. So you got 12 months to get that one thing you wanted one time, but you don't know you spending 150 every month
Mm,
on snacks. That's the type of stuff we got to kind of
yeah.
think about.
I want to add. Thank you, Bernard. I agree. I definitely agree. I just know some people, they attention span be like, oh, it's blurry. I'm going off. But we here for the information and the audio, so I do agree. So with the
Yeah, for sure.
finances, I've seen people say, because I've asked this question, okay, what do you do in the boyfriend girlfriend stage that you shouldn't do until you're married or whatever? And I see a lot of people say don't mix finances. Again, that's a case by case, that's a person by person, that's a relationship by relationship. I ain't telling you do it, I ain't telling you don't. But what I feel like when we say that, we don't understand that even if we don't mix it, we still need to talk about it because you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Because if you're a person that I'm finna be with, live with, eventually live with, propose to, like, I still need to know how you spend because I need to know if, we got
Yeah,
these bills that's in our head. Or say, I always say this to the women who say they want a man to provide. I said, okay, but can you catch him when he fall? Because men get hurt too. Men get laid off jobs too. So
yeah,
it's like, you are you with a person who spend every dime that they have? Are you with a person who can't save anything? So then when that man get hurt on his job, now we looking like, dang, we ain't got no savings. What you just do with, when I was
mhm,
giving you such and such a month, what happened? Oh, I was going to buy a new wig. Oh, I was going to shopping. I was going partying. It's like, even though we not mixing our money in the same bank when it come to finances, you still need to be having these finance conversations with each other.
it's gonna mix regardless though. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess you could say it's levels to it, but it's unrealistic. I don't give a damn about none of that. People is just saying shit. You can't even
Yeah.
talk to you. How you gonna go on dates and you ain't mixing money? That means
You hear me?
okay, if for that to make sense, one person is gonna pay for everything every time. How you
Hmm.
gonna like do anything? How you gonna surprise each other with gifts? How you gonna show up for birthdays? How you gonna like have fun? You're
Yeah.
gonna mix money. We all
Yeah.
like to just that shit fake because it ain't
Yeah.
rooted.
Yeah. It ain't rooted, and but then that's that one, that's that root problem right there. Y'all don't
Yeah,
talk about finances. We live in the moment, and the thing is, as we get older, I feel like people need to be more intentional. And I'm
yeah,
not saying everybody you meet is gonna be the one, but you need to be a little bit more intentional when you call
yeah.
yourself one to be serious with somebody. Finances gotta be talked about. It does. You gotta know
And
how they spend their money. You gotta know how they budget. You just gotta know what they do with that money, because
you gotta
money
know
is,
you're risking it. The
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is, see, people go in and they don't want to risk their money to begin with. But if you want a relationship, your money is part of.
yeah,
So ain't no such thing as going in and just gonna be like, I'm only gonna spend my money. Cause
yeah,
then you risking somebody feeling some type of way about that.
yeah. I've seen and a lot of experience I talk about, y'all, it be because I'm divorced. So I've been on both sides of that fence. Regular relationship, if you want to say three sides of the fence, regular relationship and divorce. So it's
Mm,
like I see the issues that has happened to people, even myself. Finances are major. People get
mm,
divorced for finances before they get divorced for
lot,
cheating. Like,
lot.
you know what I mean? Like, finances are very, very heavy, and we gotta have that conversation. I see a lot of women giving is bad advice, but again, what works for one don't work for another. I see a lot of women telling other women, always keep a secret stash, always keep a stash somewhere just in case the relationship fails, right? And you don't
Is you
take
gonna
into the
let me
account,
use it?
and you don't take into the account that that guy is taking a financial loss as well. You're not the only one. So the thing is, this is what I say. I don't care to argue that point. If you feel like that's true, okay, cool. This is what I say then. Just have three accounts. He have his own, you have your own, and then y'all have a mutual. That cancels out that argument right there.
Hmm.
And that cancels out
That's
making
the
it feel,
root.
huh?
That's the root. That's the root.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. The first beginning was the surface, but you could easily not have a problem by just doing
yeah.
that.
Yeah. But and then I've seen people say, because I've said that even on posts, and they be like, well, why would you have three accounts if you together? Um, so stupid. But if you together, you got three accounts, that means y'all looking for a divorce. Okay, I'm a realist. People have had two accounts, they've had one account, and they still went through a divorce. So having three accounts does not mean you're looking for a divorce. It means you're playing smarter for both of y'all, so that neither one of y'all will be left off hanging. It's not looking for a divorce. Like, we got to stop saying stuff because it sounds good and really look at the root of everything that we do in life.
People think it's
I thought you was
a
gonna say something.
default. People think it's a default for everything for real. Man, that's kind of like one of the weaknesses in society. We think like one thing means everything, but it don't. That's
Yeah,
just what it is. It don't.
yeah, yeah. And I like this comment. She said separate, together, and for whatever. And so when I was married, we ended up having three accounts. We didn't start off like that. We started off how other people told us that we should have, you know, how we should do, which was keep one account. The other person, I ain't gonna say which one, but the other person was not very good at finances, and we were getting in a hole a lot of times. So it was like, okay, you know what? Instead of divorcing over it, what we gonna do is we gonna come up with a solution. That's to have three accounts. So you have your whatever money, I have my whatever money, and then we have one where we both are dipping money into for the bills and the house and kids, or whatever expense that we have together. I'm
Hmm.
divorced, so that didn't really work out, but we did it because it was like, okay, we knew finances was one of our problems, and we didn't even talk about finances like that. So because we didn't talk about it in the beginning, when we started to have to talk about it, we started clashing really, really bad. So the
Yeah,
three accounts was the solution so that it wouldn't end, move towards divorce. Now, we didn't finances wasn't the main thing that moved us toward divorce, but it definitely was a big factor that caused us, to
yeah.
go through our divorce. Um, But let's go on to the next one. This one, we so sexual in this generation, so sexual, and so this
Definitely.
how hypersexual that we are is it amazes me that we don't really talk about sex and intimacy like we really need to talk about it when it comes to each other.
Yeah.
We post about it, but we don't talk about it with our, our partner. And Cozy, I'm gonna have you tackle this in a minute. I was on a panel with a young lady that she's married, and I think she's married like 12 years or something like that. But she spoke on how she talks to her husband, and she said, "Hey, babe, I don't like a certain thing," and she'll tell him how she wants to be pleased. And I told her I love that because the thing is, a lot of times we go and pleasing our partner based on what we know. And what we know is based off our experience. But
Mhm.
just because that's your experience does not mean your partner likes that experience. So you got to
Yeah.
maneuver. You got to maneuver and you got to adjust. But I'm going to go ahead and let you tackle how is the lack of sex and the lack of intimacy part of the root problem in relationships?
So the root of sex is knowing that you are here to have it. I think people have pushed it to the side as if it's a gift or like a chore, but it's the same as when you attract to somebody. You when you go talk to them, you are talking to them to get their number. Like you're not just like there for anything. So when you get in a real relationship, you're not getting an in-house person to not have sex. Like that you don't go to a job to not work. Like that's just not how it goes. So people get in and they be like, "Oh, well, I ain't gonna have sex for 3 months." Like when I was single. When you were single, you did that. I used to hold out for a whole year. Yeah, when you was by yourself. But that don't got nothing to do with what the person signed up for. Like if this is
Mhm.
in the description, I need that to be present. So people the lack of will tend to make people feel like, oh, what is the real purpose of this thing? And then they'll start minimizing it to the other things. Since I'm not having this, so it must just be about the money. It must just be about the attention. But then they're gonna go back like, damn, but no sex. So why should I give more of that? Then you start lacking in other areas. And that's how shit start trickling down. The
Mhm.
intimacy, basically, the kissing, the hugging, the rubbing, the cuddling, stuff like that. That ties into the niceness that I'm saying. It's like people make that like it's odd. Like you come home and we just home. But we come home, we hug. It might be 30 seconds. Cause it's like, dang, I feel good doing this. People forgetting to feel good. People forgetting to kiss in the midday for no reason. It's some people they don't even know they 2 days in, they gave one kiss. They a weekend, they only said I love you once. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy though, because that's
Mhm.
not what you signed up for. If you gonna do that, that's what single people do. So we lacking these things as if they can be swept under the rug, but then we noticing the rug is in the air all of a sudden, and we like, damn, all this stuff under here, but we didn't care about it until it got high enough. But now you 5 years in, and you like you arguing like, you don't show me enough love. Like, oh shit, that was 3 years ago. But it's like if we don't get that shit, then we ain't going into no positive direction. And people, I feel like people think that you will gain some type of comfort even though you're not even creating it, which is foolish though. Because why would you even be going any direction of good without goodness being present? So as for me, I make sure like I think about that stuff, like whatever it is. Like you can't always sit on the couch by yourself. I'm a gamer. A lot of people know that. I can't always play the game every day. Sometimes I might run that mug up. Sometimes I'll be like, I probably been on this too long. Let me watch a movie with her. Let me let me chill for a minute. Let's go walk. Like out of my own element. We so self-centered when it comes to intimacy, but then we give a whole list of things like what we want and what we name intimacy to be. But if it ain't present, then it's basically going downhill. In my opinion, you're going downhill if you're not being intimate because they're showing a separation in love and feelings. And
Mhm.
everybody has feelings. So if you got a blockage there, it's for a reason, whether it's minimal or maximum.
Mhm.
It's some reason that you not being this way because that's not what you signed up to be.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
from there, I just be like, oh, okay. It's a deep problem, way deeper than people think.
Yeah. And what I want people to understand is that sex is not the same as intimacy. Those are two different things, but you
Yeah,
can't have one without the other if you want something that's healthy. You can have one without the other, but it's not going to be healthy. You're going to lack somewhere. So you
right.
need both sex
Yeah,
and you need intimacy. And I like what Germany said. She said, I think the lack of intimacy can lead to the lack of sex.
I just
So
read
let
that.
me, yeah, let me get into that. I think, and this is just my thoughts, just from the conversations that I have, because clearly I'm not a man, so I don't know. I agree with her statement based on me being a woman. However, from speaking with most men, the lack of intimacy don't lead to the lack of sex for them. For them, I can get it done and I can be fulfilled even without the intimacy. For women, because we're so emotional, it seems like unless we are fulfilled on the intimate level, it's hard for us to have the sex and be present like we should be, in the sex. But this is why I feel like as the men, know if you a man that knows about women, if you know that this factor is important, that intimacy is important for women, if you really care about her, now this ain't for the men who I'm just here to fuck and that's all I'm here to do anyway. This
Hmm.
for the men who actually care about their woman. You have to provide a level of intimacy for her to get her hot and ready.
I think it's
Cause
stupid to think that you can have a woman liking you without being intimate, knowing that it's everywhere. It's in movies, it's in stores, it's in cartoons, it's in their minds all day. Like you can't be wanting something that you not even creating. Like I said, it just don't work like that.
yeah. And this the problem I feel like men need to understand. Like you have to understand what he just said because I do see men do it. But again, we also got to understand where you at. Sometimes men don't care because they literally don't care. Like you don't mean that much to them. So what we're talking about, because I don't want y'all to go arguing with men who don't care about you. They're not going to give you intimacy because
Right.
they just don't care.
Right.
So this is only for the men who actually care about you. So yeah, you see it in movies, you see it everywhere. You have to create that intimacy for your woman, for your lady. On the flip side of that, what I see the problem is women give more and more. We give more and more sex, even though we're not getting intimacy because we think, well, maybe if I give more sex and don't withhold it, he's going to understand that I need intimacy. And it doesn't work
Right.
like that all the time. So if you want more intimacy, have that hard conversation and show him like, hey, you've been lacking on, I don't get the hugs, I don't get the love letters, I don't get the flowers, whatever it is that makes you feel fulfilled in your intimacy with your man. You have to say that. Don't give more sex thinking that's going to bring, make him automatically be like, oh, she gave me more sex, that means I need to be more intimate. Like the minds of men don't work the same like that as the minds of women all the time.
No, most of the time, shit.
Most of the time, yeah. um So Germany said her other comment, you doing your thing, girl, as always. But she said intimacy can be anything like dancing with each other, rubbing on your man or your woman, kissing, hugging, going on dates, anything that brings chemistry. You mentioned gaming. So for the women, I like how you said, oh yeah, maybe I've been on this game too long, I need to get off.
Yeah,
Men need to also think about that too. But as a woman, sometimes okay, he ain't off that game, but guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna lay on my man lap. Oh baby,
yeah,
I'm gonna lay on your back. Like I'm gonna just do something to be present, to where even though you're on the game, I'm gonna lay up on you and put my leg around you and read a book. I'm gonna create the
yeah.
atmosphere of intimacy. It don't
Right,
always have to be an argument like, oh, you always on the game. Why you don't give me no time? All right, you go
right.
create the atmosphere then. Like we argue about the simplest things that shouldn't even be an argument, and then boom, now we got all these problems that's coming up out of nowhere. You
Yeah.
talking about we ain't got no food in the refrigerator. Next thing I know, you arguing with me because I ain't took your car to go get an oil change. Like, wait, I thought we was talking about food. What happened? But
Mhm. Mhm.
it's because we ain't tackling all the root stuff when it comes
It
up. We
go up
lazy.
fast. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why those happen though, because of the roots. Like you don't have them type of conversations when you rooted. I don't we don't talk about that type of small stuff. That stuff be small, and people
Mhm.
think that that's a thing. Like you gonna argue about small stuff? Yeah, small stuff like taking little picking at each other, but actual small things we already know about that stuff.
Mhm.
But people don't
Um,
come in and have them rooted conversations.
I was trying to keep the conversation, the topic we speaking on the screen, but I got to put this one on here. So she say I play the game with him sometimes. My jump shot better. So I think she's trying to say she getting better than you, but I don't want to
Yeah,
cause no trouble. But but she said we got to put
they know I'm
ourselves
a joke.
in we got to put ourselves in our loved ones' world sometimes. And Germany, I love how you said that because again, I feel like we get in a selfish mode to where it's all about us. And sometimes we
Yeah,
don't think, hey, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. All I got to do is go put myself in his world. All I got to go do is just put
yeah,
myself in her world. We don't have to argue about not spending time when I could create the time.
yeah.
Create,
It'd be a mutual balance a lot of time in the room. Like I could be on the game and she could be doing creativity work. You know what I'm saying? But it's also people got to think about being in that space. That's why I said something about being in another room separated all the time. You can't just be existing in the crib all the time. Sometimes you got to be in each other's face,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it works better.
Hmm.
And she
Just
has played the game too.
just
You know
stop
what though? Let me
sometimes.
say this before I
Go ahead, go ahead.
before we go on, because we talking about just intimacy being different things. Like I said, everybody know I game, right? I came in one day and she handed me the controller and turned it on. She's like, I charged your controller. I was like, you charged my controller for me? I knew when
Hmm.
you came home that you was gonna want to at least play a game or two. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like that to me, that was like, dang, you care
Yeah.
about what I'm trying to feel good about. But it's so small. But to me, that was intimate. Like, dang, I ain't never
Mhm.
everybody know I ain't never had nobody do that my whole life. I ain't haven't
Yeah.
I've been playing the game forever. Ain't nobody ever said I charged this controller for you.
Mhm.
So small things
I,
like
I
that, it
I
works.
like how you threw that in. I like that you gave that example because we think about, as women, again, we're emotional. We like to be touched, hugged, kissed, flowers, all that. We like that stuff. But I like to say, although there's an exception to a rule, there are men who like that as well. But men don't need that mushy stuff all the time as much as we need it. So something just is like that, charging his, controller. You're paying attention to your man.
Hmm.
And if you show him that, okay, you matter to me, I'm paying attention to you, that's all a part of intimacy.
Yeah,
So when he feels fulfilled in that part of intimacy, then it's like, you know what, I got her, let me do
yeah,
something for her. Like, she just randomly thought about me, let me do this.
yeah.
I see women say, and again, it flips, it goes both ways, but I see men saying this. So this is why I'm finna say, this is why I'm bringing an example to women. I see women say, well, if you take care of me, then I'll take care of you. But that goes both ways.
Hmm.
You have to also take, this might sound bad, but if you want to be provided for, if you want to be taken care of, you want to be protected more, do more for him as well. Give that energy. Show him that he matter. Show that what he's putting on the line for you is just as important as what you're putting on the line for him. Like, it gotta go both ways. I don't like one-sidedness, and that's on any
That
level.
sound great. That don't sound bad. If that sound bad to anybody, be by yourself. Because I'm an advocate for men talking.
Yeah,
Like I it ain't gonna be no just anything. Like we be groomed to be carpets,
yeah, facts.
and we ain't that ain't how it go. And then
Mm-hmm,
when you get happy, when you get with somebody who happy, you see like, oh, I didn't have to be like that.
mm-hmm,
I don't gotta feel like that. I could
mm-hmm,
feel like everything is balanced. Me on my game don't matter. I get asked, do I want to play my game?
mm-hmm.
You ain't gonna play no game? No, I'm just gonna chill. You ain't been on there in a minute. Yeah, I just been
Mm-hmm.
busy. You
Yeah,
sure you don't want to chill? Like it's a you got to gain a part of loving for her. Like if she wanted to do art or something, a lot of times, and that's not my thing, you got to gain a piece of care. Like people be separating themselves from the things that the other person care about. You ain't gotta do it every day. She ain't gotta play my game all the time to show me, but she don't feel negative towards it
mm-hmm.
because it's a part of me.
Yep.
So if she do something and she loves it, I'm gonna feel like, oh, that's what's up.
Hmm.
Keep doing it.
And this is why I say the woman that I am, I want to get married again one day. So the woman that I am, I purposely look up to women like that. I look up to women
Mhm.
in Germany. I don't go and purposely follow people or have conversations with women who are bitter towards men, or who always think men are the problem, or who always think that men don't deserve, or they only deserve something if they're making you and your life better. No, this is a mutual thing.
Yeah.
We say our men
Very
are
much.
our kings. Well, you got to treat him like a king. You can't treat him like a peasant and think he's supposed to treat you like a queen. Like,
Mhm.
we got to get out of that mindset that, well, I'm only doing something if you do. Stay single then. Don't get
Mhm.
in a
Stay
relationship, because
single.
it's never going to be half and half. It's never going to be. It shouldn't be a tit for tat blessing. Oh, well, you let me play my game
Mhm.
today. Okay, well, I'm going to buy you something for art. Like, it shouldn't be that. Sometimes one
Yeah.
person is going to be overdoing some, but it's
Yeah.
like, if
It's
your
just a part of them.
yeah, and if your partner is paying attention, though, you are, damn, she always overdoing. Let me stop and let me do something for her, because I don't want her to feel, unappreciated. Or, if something is not being done,
Mhm.
sit down over a date, or maybe, y'all got kids and y'all, the finances ain't like it needs to be. Y'all can't go out. Okay, we can go for a drive.
Man, she done told me I was, let me say this. She done told me, remember the pandemic? Everybody remember the pandemic, of course. But it was like mid-pandemic, and she was like, walked by like, it's been real boring. I'm like, what? I'm like, we can't do nothing. Blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, you need to be getting more creative.
Ooh.
I was like,
Mm-mm.
see me? I don't think that's mean. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's too much. I think I need to be getting more creative.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what? I got a whole inside of my house.
Yep.
And like, I don't know if it was the next day or the day after, but it was a whole dinner set up in this mud. Like,
Hmm.
oh, we can't do this because this who I'm choosing to like and love. So it's like, oh, you right. I am slipping. I didn't start
Hmm.
chilling. Like some people say
Hmm.
comfortable, but it ain't really always about being comfortable. Sometimes it's just you just zoned out. And that ain't really
Yeah.
about comfort. It's just being about occupied with the wrong things.
Hmm.
So my mind was like, "Oh, we can't do these things," so I'm not even really thinking about it.
Hmm.
But it was other things that I could do, and I feel like when people get said to them about what somebody want, they be offended, and that's crazy to me
Yeah.
because it's like I should be able
Yeah.
to say what I want because I want it. Like it should be that simple. Like, and you should be happy that I'm telling you
Yeah.
because now
I
you know.
I was just gonna say, especially as your partner, you should be glad that your partner even talking to you. Because again, we're
Yeah.
in a generation where partners don't talk to each other. They be in the same house, probably even the same room, posting about each other on social media. Like, you should be happy
Hmm.
that your person is trying to express to you what they feel needs to be better, or what they want more of, instead of going to either family, friends, or social media. Like, we gotta be able to have these hard conversations with the people that we say we want to do life with. And
Hmm.
he said, I love feedback in a relationship. Let's grow together. Exactly. A lot of people aren't growing together, they're growing apart.
Exactly.
And then once they are growing apart, they go to
Yeah.
blaming everybody else for why they grew apart, when really y'all are the two people as the reason why y'all grew apart. Let's be honest. The
People
last
just
one,
living with tension, a lot of tension.
right, right. A lot of let's tackle this last part on this before I go into the next one. So the last part on
Mhm.
the root problem, one of the three root problems that I found, and it probably should have been the first one, but communication. So you want to
Yeah,
tackle the communication as being part, and we kind of did when we talked about finances and lack of sex and intimacy. But if you want to just add a little bit to that,
yeah.
as the communication also being a root problem.
But going see, this the thing, being a breakdown artist, you gotta break it all down. Those are pieces of it. But what is the struggle? That's what I look for. The struggle be fear. People, you know how like if it's like going in the office and
Yeah.
standing up to your boss, that walk before, that walk before is the make or break. Will this person how this person gonna respond? How this person gonna see me after this? That makes a lot of people not stand up for themselves in the workplace. So in our relationships, We run into that way more, a lot more times than we do at work. So it's like we keep concealing the fear of speaking up. We got a fear of saying what we want. We got a fear of speaking up. We got a fear of saying where we want to go. We don't even want to. We don't want to do nothing that seem like it may navigate us towards a different direction, but we don't even know the results. So this fear is creating something false. We'll think like, oh, if I say this, you're gonna get mad. And that's why we speak like that in arguments. Well, I thought you was gonna get mad. That's actually like foolish to say. What did you move like that for? You can think it, but it's foolish to say because that means you handled it that way. You don't know what somebody's gonna do. But if you keep saying that, it'll also make it go bad. So if somebody keeps saying, I thought you was gonna get mad, and the next argument they say, I thought you was gonna get mad, eventually you're gonna be like, damn, you think I'm a mad person or something? Now I'm tired of hearing shit from you. Now you don't want to hear nothing. Now you is gonna get mad every time. So the root be fear. We gotta start saying stuff. And then we gotta start having the right choice of words. I'm a big person on choice of words because when me breaking down things, I've learned that the choice of words is really what changed shit.
Yep.
People want to say is when I brought this up, you got mad. No, you brought it up the way you said it. Like it's different from saying like she could have said, you being lazy around this motherfucker and you act like
Facts.
you can't do nothing to make me happy.
Facts.
But
Facts.
instead, she said, you need to be a little more creative.
Yep.
It was like that made me think about the creative more than what I'm lacking in. But
Facts.
the other example made me feel like a lack. If you would have said that, it would have made me think about what you lacking in. Like
Yep.
shit,
Right.
who,
Right.
who you
Right.
think you is then? Like you need to do
Well,
that.
and that's normally how it happens. And
Yeah,
that's normally how it happens.
yeah.
Like
Cause
what the crazy part about it is, and especially on social media, people always want to post, well, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. But it be the main ones that's saying it in the wrong way, like this.
yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean it's not what you say, it's how you say it? But that's how you come at me all the time.
Man,
You
people
always
talk
come at me
bad.
negative.
People talk bad like
Yeah,
on a regular. You could tell by the
yeah,
memes that blows up and get shared. They're all worded poorly. Like it's so
yeah,
bad
facts.
that it's like you got to be a problem. It ain't that we have an issue, we have a concern. That's the wave that I like to teach people. You don't have a problem with somebody, you have more of a concern. You have a issue that you want to resolve. But when you
Hmm.
think about a problem, it tends to go one side, like, oh, you got a problem. You don't think like we got a problem. So I try to get
Hmm.
away from the problem because deeply rooted is really just a concern.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, a lot of times we have these conversations, we have them randomly and not regularly, which is why when it's
Yeah.
time to have them, we so disrespectful. We not understanding what somebody is saying. The worst thing, I feel like one of the worst things in conversations, and I get hit with it a lot on social media, on my platform, is deflection and projection. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're not ready to have this conversation, just say that. Don't come here telling me I'm saying something that I'm not saying. Or I would even respect you to say, oh, well, I thought you were saying X, Y, and Z, but now you said
Yeah.
that ain't what you saying. Okay, cool. People be like, oh, no, that ain't what you said. You said, and I'm like, no, that's how you
Mhm.
took it. That's how you understood it. That ain't what I
Yeah.
said. So that's not good communication. And it be those people right there be the main ones that's, well, a communication is key. You right. Understanding
Mhm.
is too.
A lot
It's
of
hand in
people,
hand.
a lot of people don't step on my toes because of my way to articulate my words.
I can believe
Because
it.
people have they say they have good intentions, but when you go up to a person who knows how to speak, I'm not speaking to win anything or to one up people or to show my intelligence. If you say something like, oh, you did this wrong, and then I respond, this is what I think is one of the root problems. If I respond and I say, oh yeah, I can see how that happened, my bad, I ain't even try to come off that way. So next time I add on too. Next time I'll probably say something like this. A lot of people still don't like that. Cause now it's like, hold on, I ain't want you to fix nothing that fast because now I gotta fix me. So then you expose these people like, yeah, now you gotta fix you, but you wasn't ready. Cause people ready for arguments. They not ready for resolution.
Yep. I like that. I like how you said that. And they are. I see it all the time. I see it all the time on firsthand, my posts in general. I see it on a lot of y'all's too. You come to argue. You don't come to have a conversation. You come to argue. You come to be right. You come to deflect and you come to project. So it's like a
Mhm.
person like you, there's no way another person can word anything correctly. You're going to something wrong in what they're saying. And that's why people don't want to talk to you. You're not coming for a conversation. I like what he said. Proper communication builds understanding, which builds consistency. And it sounds so simple,
Right,
but it ain't.
right.
People,
It
yeah,
ain't.
people make it not so simple when it could be.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this question up.
People take steps in it,
Yeah,
and it like he say, proper communication. Like it got to be happening over and over.
yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. So Tanetta, I'm finna get to you. I'm finna go down to his because this I get hit with this a lot and it really grinds my gears. And I know a lot of it too. A lot of it too when I see people say stuff because I'm very intellectual, I'm very intuitive. So even if I don't address it, trust me, I can feel the motive. But I really dislike being told I'm right in conversations. I love to be understood, and I love that he said that because I will see people like, yeah, you're right. But then the whole time I'm monitoring the conversations that was had before that, and then I'm monitoring your comments to other people, even on
Hmm.
that same post. And I'm looking like, how you just tell me I'm right, and then you turn around and you say these type of things. So I don't like to be
Hmm.
told that I'm right. It's not about being right. I can be wrong, and I can admit that I'm wrong, and that's intimidating to a lot of people too. I can admit that,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
I could be wrong,
Hmm.
but it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having an understanding.
Yeah,
Because if you understand the other person, even in a relationship, if you understand the other person, then you know what to bring to them and what not to bring. You gonna know, man, that's gonna be pointless. Let me pick my battles. Let me not
yeah.
even do it. So it ain't about being right, it's about being understood.
If you don't
So
understand, you can't show that it won't happen again as well.
oh, that part. That part. And it's proof. The proof is in social media. When they
Yeah,
don't understand you, it happens.
yeah.
Time, even if they
Happens
say, "Oh,
again.
you right," they come back again because it's like they waiting on their moment to prove you quote unquote wrong,
Mm-hmm.
not
Cause they
knowing
trying to be right.
because they trying to be right. And
Yeah.
that's why I said projection. You telling somebody, "Oh, you always think you're right." No, you think I'm right. So you trying to look for an opportunity to prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's about being understood. But Tanetta's question, she said she have a question. I'm gonna let you tackle that first. She said, "How many times should you repeat yourself in relationship regarding concerns?"
I would say repeat yourself. It comes in I guess different modes because you don't repeat yourself about somebody disrespecting you unless you can understand the hype that you added and the fuel that you threw in the fire. If you could give yourself credit on it getting out of hand, even if you didn't get out of hand the same way, because people be thinking that's not valuable, but if somebody disrespect you your way and you disrespect them in their way, it's still the root thing is disrespect. So if that's present in every time, then you kind of gotta keep repeating yourself until both people are aligned. Now, if it's a situation where you repeating yourself just because you trying to get somebody to grow and learn, you got to sit back and evaluate how much time you got. It ain't really how many times you're gonna do it, it's how much time you got. Because everybody has the ability to make a choice. So if I'm talking to somebody and I give them the information and the clarity, and then you got to get them the time to adjust. So I gave you the time, and then it happens. But then now your next adjustments don't show any growth. It's like, oh, hold on, your adjustments ain't really adjustments. They light switches. I like to call a lot of people light switch people, which means they can turn it on, they can turn it off. So your adjustment is just the light switch. And the whole time, some adjustments be looking like growth. But a lot of people just light switch people. If they see, oh, you need this right now, they smart enough to know in order for me to get this other thing, I'm gonna hit this switch real quick, turn that mug back off when you ain't looking, and then when you ask me about it again, I'm gonna hit that mug again. and I'm gonna turn that mug off again. So it's really about time. How much in your timeline do you see their behavior of growth? I base
Mhm.
everything off a timeline. Most people who have real conversations with me, they know, because it's hard to base things off past or regular evaluation or just even just people being themselves. But something that can't be broken is a timeline. If you say you kicked my door, you broke my table, you yelled at me, you ran off on me, you disrespected me, it's still gonna be that no matter what happens after that. So if you at your timeline and you on time 7, that's too many. It's like, nah, I ain't got that much time with you now. Like you put people on eggshells, like, nah, this is enough time for me. So
Mhm.
in a more healthy way, um, because that's just kind of like the downhill version. In a more healthy way, repeating yourself can be just a person didn't understand you. So you may have to speak to them in a different way because everybody don't get hints. So people got to understand that about themselves. A lot of people think that repeating themselves is giving little hints like, mm, I don't really know. But you saying like, I don't like that. No, tell them and give them the clarity because you the
Mhm.
reason why you're repeating yourself a lot of times. But people dip around clarity and it turns into repetitiveness.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, you did your thing with that light switch people. Those are
Yeah,
manipulative people. And it's a lot of light switch
a
people turn
lot
it
of
on,
them.
turn it off. Yeah. And it's definitely a heavy form of manipulation. If you could turn it on and turn it off, it's manipulation. I
Hmm.
did a video recently about femininity. You can't turn that on and off. What y'all be saying, it's either in you, it's not on you. Like it, but we
Yeah,
do a lot of light switching in a
yeah.
lot of things. And so I'm gonna go on and, before I go to my next one for you with hers, what I would say is, because me and her have had conversations before too. If I've seen people say, I'm not teaching nobody nothing, right? And what I say is, if you feel like you shouldn't have to teach a person, you're not ready for a relationship. Because in everything that we do, you should always be a student, you should always be learning, and you should be becoming a teacher. That's just a
Yeah.
concept. That ain't just relationships, that's in general. So if you feel like you're not teaching anybody anything, or you don't want to teach anybody anything, you're not
Hmm.
ready for a relationship, because that right there, repeating. I love what Germany said. Y'all go back and read her comment when she said about him and her both have to repeat themselves to each other, depending on what
Hmm.
the situation is. The thing is, everybody's not going to get it like this. If you say something one time and we get it like this, there will be perfect marriages, there will be perfect relationships. Divorces wouldn't exist
Yeah.
because people get it like this. But that's not reality. You have
Yeah.
to teach people, because I could be a person who, a man that I was with, he didn't require certain. So look, so yeah, I'm gonna go on and bring it a little X-rated in on here, and it's
Mm.
because it's alive. It's a guy that I highly respect. His name Trip Fontaine. I highly respect him because if you're not following him, he breaks down just like
You
you
talking
breaks
about
down.
the
You might,
dude that's on that panel?
yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
really hits it. But he was bringing up sex, and I want to touch that when we talked about sex and intimacy, but I was gonna let it go. But he talked about sex. Okay, so, say you tired. Women, we have emotions. We go to postpartum. We go through a lot of stuff, right, with sex. So he was like, okay, I get it. Your man gonna be understanding and say, hey, I ain't, she tired. Her emotions ain't there. She can't have the sex. She can't be active like that. But he was like, but then how long am I supposed to go without? Like your mouth don't work. You know what I mean? It don't take thought to give head. So it's like, we got to look at that. So you as a woman, so okay, say your man keeps saying that, okay, I get it. We ain't got to have sex if you don't want to have sex, but my needs need to be met. This hand ain't doing what it do. It's been,
Hmm.
I'm done with the hand. What can you do? It's like you as the woman repeating that to you. You as a woman that loves him, you're gonna say, you know what? I don't want to have the sex, but let me give him some head. Or if you don't want to give him the head, you do a little something, like.
Yeah.
But it's like we're always going to repeat to somebody because you are coming to a person that had experience with other people. So you
Yeah.
got to train them on how to be with you, and that don't happen instantly. That's gonna take multiple times. I also would
Hmm.
say though, this is what I would say. You also got to know the value in that person, because some people only deserve
I was just gonna say that.
one chance and it's done. But for some
Mhm.
people, if you care for them, you got to know, hey, I can't just cut you off like this. I got to give you that chance. I got to have these conversations.
Mhm.
I got to repeat myself because I value you. And not only do I value you, I value what we're building. So you can't just cut people off that instantly like that when you don't get, your way off of saying something one or two times.
Mhm. People gonna have a different you got to understand that everybody don't have bad intentions either, even when y'all not on the same page. And that does a lot of help, because how you said value, I was going to say something about value. A lot of times people are not understanding because they don't value it the same. So you can say I don't like my dog outside, but that person like, man, dogs, your gal could be like, dogs be outside all the time, but she don't understand, like, no, my dog. The way I want my dog to grow, I don't want my dog outside. So it be looking like, oh, you just being reckless about my dog, blah, blah, blah. But they really don't even value it the same, because so they can't understand something that they don't have the same value for until they grow into the understanding where you be like, no, this is the reason. When I had a dog, this used to happen. This used to track in the house a lot. So I got to do this a lot. If you let him go, then he bites somebody. I had that happen before. Nobody gonna watch him. This gonna happen. This then it's like, oh, I don't like the dog outside either. Or
Yeah.
sometimes the man got to understand too that you got to be a little bendy even with your own stuff. So it's like the girl might say, okay, instead of having a dog outside all the time, I'm gonna just put him out there 2 times a week. That's a fair trade, because in a relationship, you don't necessarily have to do everything 100% the same way. You just have to do it in the likeness of each other. I'm not trying to get you to be me. I'm just trying to feel like you care about it. So
Mhm.
if it works for me and you add on to it to where it's majority me in my areas, that's good. So in your areas, if something is majority you, I still have a little bit of my own in there. But I'm be like, okay, you don't like this, but I do this more often than I would myself.
Mhm.
And then we gotta respect
Mhm.
that sometimes.
Yeah, because compromise is a good thing as well. You ain't gonna die from
No,
compromising, not on something like that.
no,
You know, um, and then I want to say, so I'm gonna go into these next three things, and then we're gonna end up, closing it out. This is good. We can go on and on, make this
yeah,
a
yeah,
3 hour sum, but y'all
yeah.
make sure y'all tap in with me and him because we about to launch our
We'll have
own
more time.
conquering deep, yeah, conquering deep conversations panel. So make sure y'all continue to follow both of us and link with us. So before I ask my next one, this is what I want women to understand, and this is what I want men to understand. Ladies that are ready for a real solid relationship, a real solid man. Please stop listening to women who are bitter and hate men. Fellas, if you want a real solid woman that's all about you and really about you, stop listening to these men who hate women. That's the problem. We say we want something, but we'll go sit in conversations with people who want the opposite based off their
Mhm.
conversations. Like, protect yourself, protect your mind, protect your spirit, protect your energy. Only sit in conversations like the ones we giving and the ones other people give that shows positivity toward the opposite sex. Get yourself out of them conversations where women hate men and men hate women. Like let that go. Let that go. It's
Even
time to
more
get
to
out.
add on that real quick. Respect your own wishes. I'm
Mm,
me in this world. I don't care if you my best friend. I'm gonna be like, well, this who I want to try with. If it go good or bad, I already know that's the risk I'm taking. But this who I want to
facts.
risk it with. So
Facts.
no matter who say something, this is what I'm about to do.
Facts.
People need to kind of be in that type of energy. If you want something, just do it. Why you even searching for all these engines to help your car run? And you
Facts.
got
Facts.
one.
Yep.
I don't need no other engine. I'm like, oh, this is my decision. I'm on board. If she on board, that's all we
Mm-hmm.
need. Everybody else ain't in it anyway.
I'm
They just become a part of it because we octopusing people and making them, be another leg. But that's another thing.
Yeah, I'm heavy on take them L's in private. Baby, I take a lot of my
Oh,
L's in private. It's a lot y'all don't know about me because I take them L's in
I
private.
took a lot of L's
Not
to
only
get
that,
there.
Yeah, and not only that, I have a hand select few of people who can handle my L's. Those
Mhm.
people don't take and tell other people about it. They don't take and post about me.
Yeah.
So take them L's in private. Stop putting everybody. If you want to go make a dumb decision, go make it in private. Don't
Mhm.
put your sister, cousin, baby mama, auntie, uncle in it.
Mhm.
Cause then they gonna go tell everybody else when they go to shit. Like, don't put everybody in your stuff. You need solid people. And if you, I say before, if you gonna lie to anybody else, make sure you're not lying to yourself. Be
Yep.
true to you. But let's get into, so we talk about relationships and the root problems, right? But the root problems cannot stand if the foundation ain't strong. So
Mhm.
foundations that aren't strong, they gonna always crumble, and we see it on the daily. Things that crumble internally before they start to show externally, we finna cover that right now. And these three things that we talked about. So we already covered communication. So I don't have that on this list. But three things that I found that people need to have as far as a healthy foundation is respect, commitment, and gratitude.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna let you tackle that, the respect, the commitment, and the gratitude.
Respect. First and foremost, we gotta understand that respect looks different from different people because we grow up with this idea of respect, and that was a battle at first, but it ain't what you want it to be. Like if somebody say you don't respect me, and somebody say I do respect you, they kind of disrespecting you saying that. It's like, hold on, you trying to tell me I don't know what my own respect that I want for myself is real? You ain't even hear what it is or why I think it. Like I ain't like we don't understand that respect looks different, and it does. But the good thing about respect is it brings comfort. The more you feel respected, the more all the stuff we talked about previously aligns easier. You will communicate better. You will speak up more. You will do more romantic things. You will have more intimate moments. Everything will be under kind of the umbrella of respect because you can feel it. And most of the time, the people who have a lot of respect, they get a lot of respect. So these big time relationships that people be having, and people be kind of like liking them or saying their relationship goals and stuff like that. They really looking at the respect that they have for each other. We think it's the love, but we can't see that much of their love, to be honest. But we see how they are towards each other. It's like, oh, they got a certain level of respect. Like they're equal. You can see their equality. You can see the balance they give each other, and that all is rooted in respect. Um, Commitment. You want me to keep going to the next one?
Yeah. I ain't gonna stop you until I gotta
Okay,
like, oh, hold
commitment
on.
is commitment is understanding the workload. We think it's about just not going outside your relationship, but that's another thing, you know what I'm saying, that I would have to tackle in a whole different way because being a breakdown person, I could break that down a lot. But commitment, we don't even understand workloads and we just accept them. Like, oh, I want a relationship, then you mad that you gotta come home at a decent time. Like we talking about stupid stuff. Like you mad that you gotta cook sometime. You mad that you gotta put your money on this on your gal tire that she blew out. Like it's like, hold on, you ain't even ready for the workload. That's why you can't be committed because you ain't know that you was gonna have to talk. Like we mad, we gotta talk. Like, dang, I gotta have a serious conversation right after work. Yeah, you live here. What you think was gonna happen? Like we be so thrown off on small stuff, but we don't understand the workload. But that's why you got to get to the root. People be like, you don't want to commit. No, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to commit to the work. They want the results,
Yeah.
and they will commit until they see like, hold on, I ain't know I had to do all this. It was like I thought this was a little easier job, so now I don't want to commit.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like you got to understand what you're signing up for because
Yeah.
it ain't no walk in the park. It might be a run, sprint, walk. The weather might change on you, and then you got to come back around. Then you might get a scooter and be scootering around the park. Then you might be walking by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I understand this is it can change. You know what I'm saying? It can I'm committed to the good, the bad, the unbalanced, the growing pains. You know, we all like to commit to the happy part or the promising part. I know this is
Mhm.
what's gonna get me. I'm gonna get these good pictures out of this. I'm gonna get this good love out of this. We know we understand that. We understand that easy. But you gotta be fully committed full circle to
Yeah.
understand if you really want a relationship. You can't be that person like, well, yeah, I kind of do like being by myself, so I don't know. You don't know. You need to go. You don't know people be over there. This is for no people.
Mhm.
Like even being having that trait, you got to know how to merge it into this in a healthy way because you could still be that alone person, but that's not. This is not a alone thing.
Mhm.
That's more so like give you some time to yourself. When you outside and you just listening to earth, I ain't coming out there thinking that you on the phone with somebody. I understand you, but you
Mhm.
can't just come in with no attitude that you're gonna do whatever you want. Gratitude,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep.
I'm gonna go on and step in a little bit. So I
Yeah,
think, we like to get technical with the whole single, married, divorce, this legal stuff, right? I think they need to redo that and they need to have single, committed, married, and divorced because people have that twisted when they get mad and in their feelings and oh well, I'm still single. No, baby, you're supposed to be committed. You're supposed to be committed, and the fact that you're not committed, it shows in your actions. It
mm-hmm.
shows when it's time to respect your partner, and you don't want to respect them because it's something that you want to do as an individual. Well, you ain't committed then.
Right.
Just stay for real single then. You ain't
Yeah,
committed.
yeah,
So, like I hate when people thought that, well, they still single. No, baby, no, they're not single. They're committed. I mean, they
yeah.
ain't married, but they committed, supposedly.
I
And I feel
always
like people like the looks of stuff. They aren't committed to what I like to say. You're not committed to the vision. You ain't committed to the goal. You just committed to the pictures
yeah, yeah.
and not being lonely. That's what you committed to.
Attention is a real thing, like in companionship. That's what I'm gonna use because that's the root of it. A lot of people only really doing this for companionship. They don't know if they want to even be single or in a relationship, but they do want companionship.
That's great.
Because if you can
Yeah.
text somebody and get them emojis, if you can go on a date, if you can feel like somebody like you, it's all rooted in companionship. But a lot of people who say they single, and I wrote this status before. If I could take 100 people who single in a room and say, "Let me see your phone," they're gonna be like, "Nah." I'm like, "Why? You single? Ain't no messages to nobody in there." Because they still actively being unsingle. It's just a hype around, oh, I'm this. Nah, you caking in your phone on a regular basis. It ain't even like a little bit on a regular daily basis, you caking in your phone. So you cannot have a title, you still functioning. And that's something that I kind of teach everybody. You are what you function as. That's the root. That's one of the root things. I'm glad I said that. That's one of the main things that I tell people. You are what you function as. That's why we collide with things like, oh, I thought we was in a relationship because you've been functioning like one. So a lot of men need to respect that a lot more. If you gonna be functioning, doing everything in a relation, don't be surprised when this girl say, I thought we. Because if you want to function as friends, then you need to make some adjustments, turn your knob down. You know what I'm saying? Because that's more realistic. But gratitude. Gratitude, I feel like for men that's even heavier, but it's talked about a lot with women. It's kind of like already understood to be grateful for a good woman. And it's kind of like a it's not a back burner to be grateful for a good man, but it's like a gift to life. Like if you get a good man, be grateful, but it's not like a thing outside of it already happening. People say it when you already got it, but with women, it's like before we even get a woman, you already thinking about and being taught kind of be grateful for the good women. But gratitude is something that's a equal playing field. It's not about like seeing who deserve it when both people deserve it. And it's also about speaking on it. People get in these arguments and they start to feel like, oh, you don't appreciate me, blah, blah, blah. They gonna say, hi, your reply gonna be, how I don't appreciate you, some. But you don't have gratitude without showing it or speaking it. Like I'm verbal with that. She's verbal with that. It's really like a real life thing. Like I seen you been all this week. You've been looking real tired, but you've been doing a lot. If you don't have that over time, you're sinking. It's a lot of reasons that we be sinking, but we don't be understanding until we already in the hole. But these things like here, that's on this screen, you ain't getting no gratitude, you're sinking because
Yeah.
everything you doing good is being minimized.
Yep.
Even if it's not intentional, it's not being talked about intentionally to be good either. So it's
Yep.
like, oh, eventually you're gonna feel like, dang, all this stuff I do around here, that's the type of arguments people have. All this stuff I done did for you, ain't nobody said enough. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody spoke up enough about like, yeah, you brought me and my kids out this hole, or you made my house a home, and we ain't saying this stuff. We just living forward so much that
Hmm.
we forgetting that gratitude is an expression. Nobody knows you grateful, so we got to understand that. I don't
Yes.
know anybody's grateful just out the gate. So if we can start expressing that more, then I think we have more healthy relationships.
Yeah. And I say all the time, and we're about to close out. I say all the time that I don't look up to people relationships. I look up to the people in the relationship. That's the difference. Because you don't know, you only know what people show you. And from what I see, a lot of people have built their relationships on quicksand. So then you look and you like, hey, what? I thought that was good. I thought he treated her like this. Oh, I thought yeah, because
Mm.
you looking at the relationship of what they show you, and you
Mm-hmm.
thinking it's just a bomb. I don't idolize nobody's relationship. I look up to the people as an individual in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But to guys, we felt to end up closing out in a minute. I would say if you want to be a guest on this platform, you already know, for those that have watched, you know how we do. It's just real life conversations. We talk how we talk. We get it how we get it. Hit me up. My it's on my website. You can book a podcast. You schedule it, whatever date and time that you want to do it. I'm always looking for these conversations. And again, be on the lookout for when me and Cozy launch our Conquering Deep conversations, because it will be coming very, very soon. I
More
will see y'all
increase.
around after he is done giving his last words of wisdom.
Mm. Um, my last words, I'm gonna go with my classic. I don't take advice, I take it into consideration.
Whew, that's
That's
good.
something that I made up
That's good.
because I don't devalue anybody's advice. But I first understand that their advice has nothing to do with me. It's just something that they think may help. But consideration is I will try it, I will test it, I will think about it, and I might add it on if it works for me. But when it comes to relationships, stop taking advice directly. Take it
Fact,
into consideration. I don't
fact,
care if it's for me, and I'm
fact.
I'm aligned with a lot of good things. But all you got to do is listen to me and think about it for yourself. Because if I tell you to be more romantic and the person you with is just as not romantic as you, that is not what you should be doing.
Mhm.
But you might can consider pieces of it where you say, oh, they do like when I rub their leg though. So think about if you do that enough. And that's kind of my last thing. I don't want to build on nothing else. Don't take advice, take it into consideration.
Yeah, that's good. You have to post that a lot more, because I
Yeah.
definitely love how you said that, because it be, and we finna close. I know we said finna close out, y'all, but he be saying stuff and I be want to ride off of it. But it's like a lot of people, they do that, be like, oh, how can you give advice when X, Y, and Z? You ain't gotta take it. Consider it,
Yeah.
or don't consider it.
Consider
Like
it.
nobody's
Or
running your
don't
life
consider
but
it.
you. You know, you don't have to be mad at people for giving quote unquote advice. You just don't have to take
No.
it. You don't have to
Well,
consider it. I like that word. You don't have to post it. You don't have to consider it. You don't have to take it. You don't have to do nothing. So there's no point in getting
Yeah.
mad at people giving the advice that they give, because truth be told, everybody gives advice. I don't care what their title is. I do not care. I'm gonna even
Yeah,
go as far
everybody.
as to speak is, I don't care how long you've been in a relationship. Everybody's
Mhm.
giving advice based off their experience. And
Mhm.
I'm going to always stand on the foundation that what works for one person will not work for everybody. So
Yep.
take it, eat it, do whatever you want to do, take however long you need to process that, but that is what it is. And we are
Yeah.
out. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him if y'all not already following him. I will see y'all around on Facebook.